Hello all. Today I'll be taking you through a function that we have created that generates box plot and histogram for all the numerical variables and bar graphs for the categorical variables from any particular data set that you either have stored as a pandas data frame. As we all know that data science is ubiquitous to advanced statistical and machine learning techniques. As long as there is data to analyze, the need to explore is obvious. Yet, an important key component to any data science task, frequently undervalued, is the exploratory data analysis, also known called the EDA. At a high level, the EDA is the practice of describing the data by means of statistical and visualization techniques to bring important aspects of that data into focus for further analysis. This involves looking at your dataset from many angles, describing it, and summarizing it without making any assumptions about its contents. This is a significant step to take before diving into machine learning or statistical modeling to really make sure that the data is what it is claimed to be and that there are no obvious problems. To summarize, EDA helps us in to gain familiarity with the dataset. It identifies feature distribution. It identifies feature with null or erroneous values and also helps to identify features that are not important, like a feature containing same value for all observations, basically being constant. Now I'll be taking you through the initial version of the function graphs that we have created. The first step is obviously importing the necessary libraries, the necessary dependent libraries that will be used in this program. There is pandas, there is numpy, cborn and matplotlib, and we have imported from the OS package three different modules and scatter matrix from pandas.plotting. So we'll import the necessary libraries, and after the import is completed we'll set the cborn defaults. Now what basically this does is set the color codes according to the cborn uh, color palette. Now the basic this is the basic version of the graphs function that we have created that takes a data frame as an input and generates box plots and histogram for all the numerical variables. Now I'm going to walk you through this program, uh, how it uh, computes this, how it basically generates these plots is first we take the list of all the columns that are there in the data frame. Then we iterate over the column list one by one. The next step obviously is to check whether is it a numeric data type, and that is achieved by the function is underscore numeric underscore d type. This checks whether a column is numerical or not and returns a boolean value true or false. If it returns true, it proceeds inside the if section. If not, it goes back to the next column in the column list. So if this function returns true, this goes inside the if block and this code gets executed. Now what this plt.subplots does is it creates a figure and a set of subplots. This will create a one into two. Basically, it will create one row and two columns figure with a fixed size of 14 and 6, with a title as box plot and histogram for the dataset variable, whichever column is specified, with a font size 20. For plotting the box plot, we have used the Seaborn, and as we've already seen that we have imported Seaborn as SNS, so we have used sns.boxplot with the inputs as column, because whatever column which we have to draw a plot, that column, and data, so to identify which uh, data frame it belongs to, then the notch and the axis, and this axis comes from this, so that it will be plotted in the first column, first row, first column. And dot set allows us to set the x label and title values. Now for plotting the histogram, we have used the matplotlib function dot hist that creates a histogram on the column, and this will go in the second column as specified by axis 1. And these are the x label, y label, and the title. After these plots get created, since we are creating these plots in the same figure, and that is the reason for choosing subplots, we'll save this using plt.savefig in .jpeg format, and then we print out as a confirmatory messages that this particular variable has been plotted. And this is what the basic function, what it does. So I'll just compile this, and okay, this is done. Now, in order to check whether the function is working or not, I'll take you to this. This is the function where the program, this is where the folder where the program is, and if I run this, it will ask for the file name, and if I enter emptycast.csv, as this is the Excel file we have in our folder, and if I run this, it creates the data frame using pd.readcsv. Now graphs, if I run this cell graphs in which the data frame is being passed as a parameter, I would expect the graphs to show up in this folder. And as you can see, as along the graphs are being plotted, it iterates over each column. The function returns this message which says plotted graphs for the variable with the variable name. And if you go back and check in the folder, these are the plots that get generated. So as you can see, this is the basic version of a function.